Hey folks, this is Nate LeVan, Pioneer Field Agronomist up here in north central Iowa, and I wanted to hit on a topic about tillage considerations for spring of 2019. This is a topic that literally has come up every time that we've had either one-on-ones, crop shops this entire winter. So wanted to touch base on a few things, and really I want to consider things, what you see behind me, and that's unworked corn stalks. If we have some soybean stubble that maybe had some tire ruts or some passes from the combine that we had to do just because it was so wet, those I think are fairly manageable. Or if you consider maybe some things like corn residue that did get a primary tillage pass with a ripper or a chisel plow, I think we have a different conversation, and then it's all about focusing on seedbed preparation individually by itself. But here, when we're talking about residue from 200 bushel corn, we have a lot of corn stalks, a lot of residue. It's really all about 4 different options and how we're going to approach them here in this spring. So, option number 1, especially if you're going to soybeans, I think would be a consideration for no-till. This residue, especially with new planters, I think you can manage it really well by setting those row cleaners pretty aggressively. And especially with soybeans, we're not talking about a perfect, seed bed preparation like we are with corn. They're a lot less sensitive to population changes. Okay, and certainly your neighbors up here in the north central part of the state, this is going to be a consideration that a lot of folks are going to go through. Now, corn on corn no-till becomes a different proposition, especially if you've never done any no-till in the past. Number 2 would be something like strip till, going in and getting in between these corn root balls and putting it right down the middle of the corn row. Nice consideration. You're going to be able to place some nutrients there. Really nice in terms of that corn on corn and really even corn on beans. Problem is, there's going to be a lot of folks that, hey, just like your primary tillage pass, we didn't get that done with the strip till bar either. Okay, so not a whole lot of bars out there, and if you don't have one, it's going to be really tough to get that scheduled in. The third option, and this is an option that a lot of guys are going to take, are going to be something like a vertical tillage tool, possibly a light disc pass incorporation, or possibly even something like a combination field cultivator. And I would say each one has its considerations. Vertical tillage tools are really nice. You get good residue. You're going to be able to cut through some of these stalks a lot better. But one thing, don't run them too deep. Don't run them too early. They're very heavy, right? We're talking about a really heavy tool. If you go in and create a layer like at 2 inches, those heavy tools are going to compact it. Same thing with the disc. Again, don't be too aggressive. Set your guide wheels or set your depth really shallow. We're just trying to move some of these root balls out of the way and make sure we have a good seed bed. And then finally, something like a combination field cultivator, a nice option, but I would say I like that option a lot better if you have a chopping corn head, or perhaps you're going to go out there and manage residue with a chopper or a mower or something like that. You're going to be able to get through that and not have these long stringy pieces kind of catch on the shanks. And then finally, on number 4, I would say take that primary tillage tool out, shallow it up a little bit, and make sure that you're getting underneath these root balls. Make sure you're getting that residue incorporated. Again, keep it shallow. I'm not going to try to do that primary tillage pass. That's not the goal for this spring. Our goal is definitely to make sure that seed bed is unencumbered, and we're not trying to create a shallow compaction layer. A shallow compaction layer is probably our most yield limiting, whether it's corn or beans. So those are 4 options to consider, not necessarily in any particular order, not necessarily one's better than the other, but those are some things that you got to consider. And if you have any more questions on tillage or any other topics heading into this spring, contact your local Pioneer sales representative.
That concludes this Pioneer Growing Point Agronomy video podcast. Visit our page on pioneer.com and follow us on Twitter and Facebook for more agronomy insights.